I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching Spotlight. Today's Spotlight is on high school sports. We're going to do a fall preview. Today we have with us head coach Tom O'Connor from Chicago Christian High School and senior athlete lineman Matt Hahn. And they're going to join us to give us a little bit of a preview of what football will look like at Chicago Christian this year. So, man, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
No, this
Glad
is
to
great.
be here.
Good. How about Coach O'Connor? Let's talk. Question for you first. You just got the head job, so you're starting out, coming off an interesting year, right? Because of the restrictions, the CDC guidelines. You had a spring season. How about tell us a little bit about yourself? Taking over the head job, stepping into this new situation.
Well, when Coach Cook left, kind of left a little bit of a void there, and it was a little unexpected. So. Put in an application, talked to the athletic director, and they felt I was suited for the job.
Now, you've been on the staff there, though, right?
Yes, the last 5 years I've been the special teams coordinator.
Okay, and you coached prior to that as well?
Yes, for quite a while.
Yeah.
Coached my first high school game in September of 1980.
Congratulations. You're in the long haul thing now, right? We're talking about 31 years now?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Man, how about you? So you're a senior at Chicago Christian. I think you're the only returning starter on the offensive line?
Yes. Yeah, I'm
okay.
the only returning starter.
So what else? What specific positions do you play, offense and defense?
So offensive line has been just what I've been doing my whole life. I started playing, I think, third grade. That's what I've been doing every year, but I've been right tackle the past 3 years, and this year we were kind of at a decision between right guard and right tackle where I best fit given our offensive scheme and personnel, so we'll have to make a decision on that. And defensively, I started off playing nose tackle my sophomore year. I started there. Last year I moved to defensive end. It better fit our team. This year, we'll see where I go, probably taking over where Hunter Sperling was last season at defensive tackle.
Okay. So somewhere in that offensive, it sounds like you play multiple positions, and that'll kind of work itself out over by the summer before we head into the fall season. The other thing is, as a returning senior, only returning starting the offensive line, but also as a returning senior, I think that puts you in a leadership role too.
Yeah.
What type of challenges do you see helping this team get ready for the season coming up?
Well, with the absence of Coach Cook this season, part of why our team had seen so much success was part of the culture that he had kind of instilled in us, and I think that Coach Tom is going to definitely continue to bring that to us, but it takes also just senior leadership to some of the younger athletes on the team, sophomores and freshmen, to just make sure that we keep on carrying that culture throughout the rest of the year and years to come.
Good, and that's a great point. The power of culture to produce, the type of program that can have success in a variety of ways, like you guys have had at Chicago Christian. So let's talk a little bit. The prep that's going on. I know you guys are starting your summer camp. You've got preseason training, weightlifting, speed camp. You'll have some football days coming up soon. This year's kind of tough because spring sports are still wrapping up, right? The state track meet and baseball are going on, and you had a spring football season, so it's like a fast turnaround here. What does preparation look like right now for the summer for the kids?
Right now we're in the middle of our lifting program and speed school, and we'll be starting up football-related activities where we're actually bring the ball out and do football skills. Mm-hmm. That'll be starting up at the end of the month and through July. Then we get a little bit of time off, and we go at it August 9th.
It is fast how, because of the shorter summer, that season's going to sneak up real quick here.
Yeah, that spring season we just finished, that was almost like college spring ball, where we get some practices and some games in for a short period of time, and then a few weeks off or a few months off, and then here we go again.
Yeah. And almost no time off, really, right? But with summer camp going
No, between summer camps, a lot of our players were playing spring sports, so they transitioned right from football to either baseball or track. So a lot of kids didn't take a lot of time off.
Yeah, it could be tough. We need days off every now and then. Right?
Oh, yes.
How about, so maybe I put you guys on the spot, maybe Matt, Coach O'Connor, you guys can both take this one. How does the team look for this coming year? You know, based on what happened last year, based on who's back this year, how do you feel about the team?
Well, we did lose 10 or 11 seniors, but
That's a lot.
that doesn't, it is a lot, but it didn't leave a vacuum. We've got some good juniors coming back, like Matt, several others. Another young man comes to mind, Luke Gelderks. Not only are they good athletes, they're good leaders, and they're gonna help us maintain the level that we've been playing at all along the last 4 years.
Yeah, in the case of Luke, the Luke you just mentioned, I know he's a track athlete,
Yeah.
which, and I know he's still doing Luke, but he's a big time track athlete. He's going
Yeah.
downstate this week, right?
Yeah, he just started this year and he qualified for state in 2 events.
That's incredible.
He's so fast.
Yeah, 200-meter dash, I think, and
Yeah,
long
Long
jump.
and the long jump.
Yeah,
And he's the #1 seed in long jump.
Wow. So
Really?
that's that's some athletic skill, and
Yeah.
and he's an athlete in the football program. That's great. What do you think, Matt? How about this year coming up? How do you see this season coming?
Yeah, I agree exactly with Coach O'Connor. We have roles to fill, definitely, but we feel confident that every underclassman can take up a role and be led so that they can do that successfully.
There are people who are going to step in there and get it done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And that, if nothing else, it's got to give you confidence going into this season, right?
Yeah.
So maybe, we've talked about what you think you guys have coming up, but there are opponents out there, right? So how about first, who's your first game against? Is that a home game, away game?
Home game, or no, it's an away game now, but if it's against Hansberry Prep. They're a charter school in the city, and we played them a couple of years back. Obviously, we didn't play them in the short season. We just had the spring season, but their speed. That's an issue.
They have some speed on the field.
Yes.
And that'll be the first game in August, which is usually like late August?
Late August.
Like the 3rd week in August.
Yeah. And then how about, so that's your first game. Who are the big games? And they're all big games, right? I mean, every game matters. There's only one game in the schedule, the one right in front of you. But we're all kind of aware, there's some teams out there that you have to pay special attention to when they show up on the calendar. Who would that be for you guys?
Well, week 2 we play Marquette Academy. They are probably about an hour away in, I think, more
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Yeah. I think I'm really excited to play that game. I've kind of looked into their personnel. I see a lot of guys. Recruiting is all done on social media, and so you can see some of their players there. And I think that's going to be a good game for us. We'll see how we match up against them. They've seen some success in recent years, so have we, so we'll see how we're able to stack up. I feel confident that once we get to know their team better, we could definitely go out there. Is it a home game or away?
Home.
It's home? Okay. Yeah, I feel like we could definitely compete and hopefully win.
Yeah, so that sounds great. Like the first game of the season, Hansberry Prep, that the one we got to focus on first, but and then you get another really big one right after it. That's great. Okay. All right, can I put you on the spot? Do you want to make a prediction for the year?
You go ahead, Coach.
You want to take me first? Okay. Looking at the schedule, there's no easy games.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of our opponents are saying the same thing. I don't think anybody expects to walk into our stadium and roll over us. Hopefully out of the 9 games, I wish I could say, hey, yeah, I hope we go 9-0. Well, I do hope we go 9-0.
That's the plan.
More realistic.
That's the plan.
If we 7 games, I'd be pretty happy. The last year I was a head coach at another school, we won 7 games in the regular season, and I was ecstatic.
Yeah, and 7, of course, will get you into the playoffs. And I get 9-0 is the goal. I don't know, Matt. What do you think? Where do you want to put your team?
I can't give a proper estimate yet because I don't know who is going to make up our team. So
that's a good answer.
I'd love to say, we'll probably do this at every game, but honestly, I can't really give a solid estimate yet.
I would think, my guess for you guys is you're going to compete at a high level. You obviously have a chance to win them all. That's certainly, like you said, the balance of the teams you play and your own team's ability, you're going to be in every game, right?
Yeah.
And probably to play at your best level, if you do that, that'll give you that chance at that 9-0, season. So obviously the playoffs are in play. hoping for a conference championship
Every year.
That should be a possibility for you. How about to move away from football just a little bit? Matt, how about, do you play any other sports at Chicago Christian?
So for the past 2 years, I've been trying to join the track team. Of course, 2 years ago, it got canceled because of COVID.
Yeah.
This year, I ran into scheduling complications because the whole off season got compressed into a really short time period.
And some of them overlapped a little bit too.
Yeah, given that football got moved to the spring. So I took this track season to go to college camps for football and go to just different colleges so I could be evaluated by coaches and see if I could earn a spot on their roster.
Good. And matter of fact, that's a great thank you for that, because that is the transition I was looking for. You're a senior. You're probably getting the question already, so we're going to put it out there publicly. You know, people asking, well, what are you going to do after high school? Obviously, you have, you know, post-high school college plans. It sounds like you want to play football.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on where? I won't even ask you where unless you have a top few schools, but do you know what you want to study, or is it just football?
Yeah, so right now I have 4 offers from schools, and currently Grand Valley's been kind of the one that I've been the most interested in out of the 4 of them. As for what I want to study, I don't know yet. I mean, I'm 17. I've got a lot of time to.
You got time to figure it out.
Figure that out,
yeah.
But yeah, I know I want to play college football. I've wanted to do that for a few years now, and I think that I'd fit in great to that kind of culture and attitude. So.
No, that's great. I wish you luck in that. That's exciting.
Thank you.
That you had that goal and that hope for yourself, and based on what Coach has said about you and a little bit of film I've watched of you already, yeah, I think that's where you're headed. I mean, you look good there. So good luck.
Thank you.
So my final question, I warned you guys that this was coming. All right, you know, sports revolve around motivation, right? Like, how do you get, you know, into the thing? How do you get inspired to make things happen, whether for yourself or your teammates or your athletes, right? You know, what music do you listen to before a game, or any of that kind of thing? In this case, I'm going to give you guys an option, either a coach that inspires you, or an athlete, professional athlete maybe out there, or maybe there's a movie that works for you, like that movie, it speaks to me. What do you got, Coach?
Rocky.
Really? The original Rocky?
The original Rocky. I come from a little bit of a boxing background. My dad was a professional fighter. I boxed a little amateur for the Chicago Park District programs. And yeah, Rocky.
Okay.
And as far as a coach, Dick Vermeil.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, you and I are pretty close in generation. I remember when Rocky came out. I think I saw that movie 4 or 5 times. It was like
me too.
Yeah, it was like that. It was a powerful movie. Yeah. Matt, how about you?
Motivationally, I think the best thing to get me pumped up for a game is, I'm pretty calm before we start, but we start every game with a team huddle, and we finish with a team chant. We all say, screaming like as loud as we can, "Thank you, God, that I'm a Knight." And after we say that, I always get goosebumps, and I'm always super ready to just get out there.
You feel a rush to get after it. Oh, that's cool.
Big
that's
rush of adrenaline.
And that is cool how, you know, your school has your thing that kind of puts you in that zone to get going after it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you, guys. I also want to thank you for giving me a chance to wear this tie. This is my football tie I got several years ago. If I get to wear it once a year, I'm lucky. So doing this interview with you guys, thank you.
You're welcome.
I got to break the tie out. Anyway, Matt, Coach O'Connor, thank you for being on the show today. This has been really good. I wish you guys the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And hopefully you guys have a super good season. I'm Dave Wurzel. You've been watching Spotlight, a preview of high school sports 2021. Thank you for watching.